Guys, so we're going to be looking at the security of the new NFC ring. Now, a lot of the things you're already going to be familiar with, but I'm going to have to touch on them because we've got some new backers and new people that are involved. So I'm going to cover the whole project and won't take too long, hopefully. So let's get started. Firstly, let's take a look at the entire ring as we see it. So you'll see here we've got the top of the finger where you have a public inlay, and the bottom of the finger where you have a private inlay. Now I'm going to refer to these as inlays or portions, but essentially the ring has two parts. It has a top and a bottom, and the top goes on the top of your hand. As you can see here, this is the top. You see that this inlay or this portion is facing up, and at the bottom it has a separate one, and that is facing down. Now the interesting thing here is that the top and the bottom do different things. So what we encourage, and the way that we found is best practice, is that at the top of your finger you have sort of public facing information, and at the bottom of your finger you have private facing information. So some examples of the usage that you can actually do, things like sharing V cards. This is with the public, so you can share things like V cards. You might want to share your email address, a social network link, something like your public SSH key, a Bitcoin key, link to your favourite song if you want to share that, or maybe just a small profile picture. And on the private side, this is where you'd use things such as for access control, so more secure features, so stuff like door unlock, phone unlock, computer unlock and login, car starting, gun authentication, sharing a Wi-Fi password you might want to do on there if you don't want to share that with other people, and maybe if you wanted to log into your Ashley Madison account. We don't recommend that though. So now that we know that there's a public and a private side, how do we stop people from being able to get your private data? Now in computing we have a concept called Wardriving, which is essentially what's the term that's used for people that try and access your Wi-Fi remotely. And the way that they do that is that they have big antennas, and they try and push RF signals out and receive RF signals in from a distance. Now one of the problems that a ring could potentially have is somebody from a distance is able to read the private portion of your inlay of your ring, and we don't want that. So the design of the NFC ring is designed in such a way that the top of the finger is the first inlay to ever be kind of executed or read by a Wardriver. And the advantage that we have with the new design is that the finger itself actually acts as a bit of an RF filter. The moisture in your finger and the bones and the tissue all absorb some of that RF signal, much in the same way that, say for example, you had a brick wall between a wireless access point and your laptop. Your finger is doing very much the same job in the near field at 13.56 megahertz. And that's a relatively new design. Before, what we had was under each inlay we had a portion and then a piece of metal, and that would block the signal. We actually found that if you wanted to do really high security, that's a great way of doing it. But for the most use cases of where NFC is being used at the moment, and the kind of attacks that are being used, we found that the new design where we're using ceramics and then we use the finger itself to actually act as that filter, we found that that's a really, really functional and useful way of doing it. So moving past RF, and let's look at the different lock options that are available. So the first one is soft lock. The second one is hard lock, which were on the original NFC ring. You guys probably already know this. And then the third one is code lock, and that's a new type of lock that we've been able to support. So let's look at soft lock first. Basically with soft lock, the ring wearer can set a soft lock as by its name. The ring data is only overwritten when a force write is used. So you know, that's ideal for securing public facing portion of the ring. It's ideal for if you've got something that's not super if it got overwritten, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So you just want to do a quick soft lock, and then if somebody tries to overwrite it, they won't be able to, unless they've specifically said, I want to force overwrite that. A hard lock is where once you've written something, it cannot be rewritten, it cannot be cannot be modified. It's permanently set on that device. So this is kind of more for the hardcore people that want that one thing that they're going to use for the rest of their life. Maybe it's their host name for their blog, right? So for me it'd be maclear.co.uk, so maybe I'd write http://maclear.co.uk, and I'd put that on my public facing side of the ring. knowing that I'm never going to change that. I'd be able to permanently lock that with the confidence that I'm never going to need to change it. But obviously there's a compulsory one in there for those folks that don't understand what permanent lock might mean. And then the last one is code lock, and this is a new one, and we thank NXP for this new piece of functionality. It's the new piece of functionality that was introduced in the 21X range of the tags. And this is where I could write, say for example, a public piece of information on one of the inlays, and then I could provide a code to lock it. So let's say my code is 1234 because I'm super smart. I'm going to set my code as 1234, and the only way that I can then modify or overwrite that inlay is to provide the code 1234 when I come to do it. Now, we're not actually going to support code lock in the NFC Ring Control app, or we don't at this moment in time. We are going to support it in the NFC Ring Control app. We just don't have that functionality baked in yet, but we will have that ready as soon as possible for everybody to have a play with. So that's it. That's a brief overview of how we handle security from both a physical level, from a gesture level. So as you guys probably already know, with the Ring having two sides, you've got your public sharing gesture, you've got your private sharing gesture, down through to the RF level, and then on through into the different software and options available for providing lock and unlock mechanisms. So hopefully that keeps you up to date, and thanks for backing, and thanks for being part of the project. See you soon, guys.